welcome to today's episode of Thursdays at 3. I don't know if you know, but today is Braid, Ring, and Wreath Day. If you have been alive in the 90s, then your mom or grandma probably fed you a recipe made with crescent rolls from the Pillsbury Company, and we're going to start today by me just telling you about this stone that's from 1996, I think. Andrew turns 20 next month, but I have had the same rectangle stone since 1996. So that's a long time, 22 years. Some people just don't even stay friends for 22 years. So if you take care of them, your stones are going to last you. So we're going to start with a recipe that's been around a long time called a chicken and broccoli braid. So we're going to need to chop up some broccoli, some red pepper, some chicken. We're going to add some seasonings. There are 3 key ingredients that you need when you make a ring, wreath, or braid. You need a protein, usually, so we're going to go with chicken today, but the whole reason we're doing this is because next week is Thanksgiving, and I thought, oh, the turkey cranberry wreath is so delicious with those turkey leftovers on Thanksgiving. So you need a protein, you need a cheese, you need a little bit of an agent to make it creamy. So we're going to use mayonnaise, but if you like Miracle Whip, go with that. And then we also need some spices. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some preparations. I hope you're ready. Oh, and if my shirt isn't backwards, it says, surely not everyone was kung fu fighting. And so now you'll be singing the song all day. You're welcome. Here we go. So one of my very favorite tools, as you know, is the quick slice. So we're going to go ahead and throw these bell peppers in there. And I love that I can flip it and do it again, and they're perfectly diced. And so if you're the type A personality, these are perfect for you. Oh, we got some people that want to hang on here. And especially if you're doing tomatoes, this gives you the perfectly diced tomatoes. So not everyone in my family loves bell peppers, so I think we're going to finish up with just those 2 bell peppers. But you can see, just as a quick reminder, look at how perfect they are. Just perfect little squares. The next thing we need to do is chop up some broccoli. So we're going to use my favorite manual food processor. Throw some broccoli in there, and if you're trying to hide vegetables, this is the tool that you need because it's going to chop, chop, chop. I think that was about 10 seconds. Oh, look at that. Ooh, it just made a mess. That one, he's hiding from the blade, so we're going to have to just shake it up, but it's pretty easy. It's not like I did anything wrong, but he was hiding, so now he has been found out. Oh, look, this is a tough guy. I wonder if he was on an episode of Stranger Things. Oh, yes, I'm addicted to that show. There we go. All right, Mr. Broccoli, you're going to go back in there. So we got our broccoli. Now he's back in there. Maybe he was just too big to begin with. Who knows? He's about to get shredded. Got him that time. Oh, look. Look. Oh, wait. That might be a different friend, but we're going to get him right now. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, yeah. So we got our broccoli. We got our bell pepper. Because remember, you need, oh, you know, I didn't even say that. You need a vegetable, or maybe you don't need a vegetable if it's your kids. I don't know, but I always like a vegetable. And then yesterday, I made a chicken in the crock pot. And this is what we didn't eat for dinner, so this is left over. But I want you to pretend that this is your leftover Thanksgiving turkey and you want to throw it into a recipe. I'm going to use what we call the salad choppers to chop chicken. So I prefer to use these for meat because the reason why, let me tell you, and I need you to see my face when I say this. What happens when you take chicken out of a pan or out of a dish and you put it onto a cutting board and then you start cutting it up? Okay, you've probably just said to yourself, the juice runs out of it. That is absolutely true. So what will happen is if you take that pot, the pan, whatever you've cooking the chicken in, or just put it into a bowl, the juice is in there. When you chop warm chicken and the juice kind of comes out of it, the juice then soaks back in. Trust me on this. I just did a show Tuesday night and I was telling another guest, I was like, look at this, because if you did it on the cutting board, it would look one way, but because we did it in a bowl, the juice went back into your food. So I'll finish up, but just so that you know. So this is has no bones in it. It is completely bone-free chicken. There was some breast, there was some thigh in there. But this is the easiest way to get this chicken chopped up and in a hurry. And thank goodness this is my kitchen, and I know I just wiped down the counters because I seem to be throwing food today. If anybody remembers Gallagher, the guy that used to be in the comedy circuit, and he would always splash people on the front row. Okay. So now we got a little bell pepper and some broccoli. That's probably way too much chicken, but I'm just gonna go for it. And I think my kids will love this with not, and you know what, I just feel kind of bad. I feel like I need to have a little more vegetable in there. So I'm just gonna hit up the rest of these. There we go, now I don't feel so bad. Got lots of vegetables in there. And just so you know, if you have the manual food processor, it's never gonna lock. It spins all the way around. The benefit is you've got the hexagon, goes in the hexagon, and that's how the blades know to go around. And if I've never told you this before, the neat thing about the manual food processor is the blades are on 3 planes. So it really does take that food from the bottom and bring it up to the top. All right, so we're good to go there. Oh, look at our delicious filling. And again, it can be anything you want it to be. Let me grab some mayonnaise. And I think this calls for a little bit of garlic, so you know what I'm gonna grab. It is the Pampered Chef garlic press. And remember, don't unwrap it. This just came right off of the bulb, right? Here we've got the clove. Just gonna stick it right in there. And I'm gonna squeeze. Ooh. See that? There's all that good flavor. And then I don't like to touch the garlic. Ooh, I don't even have to. Look, it was a magical day. Came off right on top. And you know what? I kind of doubled these ingredients because I have to make a couple different things for you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second thing of garlic. And if you like garlic, you just keep on going. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you. If it doesn't come out automatically, I usually just use a knife blade, the end of the knife, and that's how I get it out. All right, so then we need, yeah, I probably should measure the mayo, but I've made this recipe enough, and I'll post this recipe, don't worry about it, because I know as much as I've put in there, I probably need a little bit of extra. And Pampered Chef came out with our dill mix many, many years ago. This isn't from many years ago, but this is what sort of completes the recipe. And so I'm going to put 2 teaspoons, because I basically doubled the recipe, of the dill mix. And you know what's missing? What did I talk about? Well, I said 3 things, but you really need 4. We've got a protein, we've got a vegetable, we've got our mayonnaise, and you know what I almost forgot, which is my very, very, very favorite part, because we eat this on a regular basis? The cheese. So here comes the cheese. Ta-da. And I'll tell you, honestly, don't let your cheese sit out on the counter. You want it nice and chilled, because then it shreds better. And we use this shredder probably 3-4 times a week. People often ask me, what's the one Pampered Chef thing you have to have in your kitchen? I used to say a food chopper. I would now tell you it should be the cheese grater, because there's nothing like fresh grated cheese. It melts better, it tastes creamier. You can have it in your fridge for like 2 weeks. I mean, it never even gets that far in our house because we use it so often. Look, that is so beautiful. And you don't have to worry about the fillers like you get with the bagged cheese. Okay. Again, I'm doubling this recipe. It really calls for 1 cup of cheddar cheese. This looks like 2. We're just gonna go with that. Again, this is just for my family. It's not like I have to put this on at a restaurant, so I can do whatever I want as far as cheese and meat and mayo and all that stuff. All right, I think we got it all. And as you kind of put your recipe together, you may want to look and say, you know what, does this look creamy enough to me? I'm not sure, maybe you need a little more mayonnaise. I did put a lot of broccoli in there, so I'm not sure. But I think it's coming together. Can you see? It doesn't have to be, you don't want it over wet because then it's going to just make the crescent rolls extra wet. And you wouldn't want to use super hot chicken because that's really juicy and then it just pours out of your crescent rolls. So if you've ever made a recipe that used the crescent rolls, the rings, the wreaths, the braids, why don't you pop in with a comment and tell us which recipe you like the best. And then we'll have maybe a little contest today to see which recipe's been made the most. I would say it's the taco ring, but who knows. So we got our mixture together. The one thing I did forget, and let me use my super, super fancy salt and pepper grinder from the Pampered Chef, which I've had about 6 months and haven't used, but oh my gosh, the other day I did with this pink Himalayan salt that we have. I don't know if you can see it in there. It is so delicious. Okay, so now we got a little salt and pepper. So we started with broccoli, chicken breast, bell pepper, cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, dill mix, garlic clove, salt and pepper. And now we are ready for our creations, because I know that's why you're all here. Let's scooch those things out of the way. Okay, we're going to do the braid first, because that's the easiest. And you need crescent rolls, and let me tell you, they're on sale at Publix right now. So we're going to do 3 different things today. The first one is the braid. And we used to say this was a job interview for Pampered Chef. Could you break open the crescent rolls? So I guess I'm hired. I could do it. So normally when you make the braid, you would use 2 cans. This recipe, the normal recipe, calls for 2 cans for you to be able to do it, but because I didn't want to overdo it, I only did 1 can, just so that I can show you guys today. So as you know, the crescent rolls are going to have these little lines because that's where you're supposed to perforate them. On the braid, you just want to pinch them together. Do a little seam press is what they would call it back in the day. So we've got our seams pressed. And we're just making a base. And sometimes over the holidays, you can actually get them to where it's just a flat thing and there's no perforations because they know people like to bake at the holidays with it. So then I would grab my trusty medium scoop, which I still use to this day and have loved for many, many years. Probably as old as my children or older. So imagine this was an entire board filled with crescent rolls. We would just follow it all the way down, but because I have to make a few other things today, I'm not going to fill that. So here we go. Now here's the fun part. This is where over the years I just said, you know what, this looks like it could be 3 braids. So I would make 2 lines so that when I pull it up, that's what it looks like. And again, if this is just for your family and you're not on some TV special trying to make food, then I would just go for it. Give it a try. So we've got our filling. I'm going to mash that down a little bit. And this is the part that I always thought was so cool because it comes out so nice. So you basically take the 2 sides, you bring it together and you pinch it together because crescent dough will easily go together. And then you turn it upside down. It's not difficult at all. Pinch together, turn upside down, lightly press into the other one. Pull it up, pinch it together, turn it upside down. And you will not believe the rave reviews you will get. But I will caution you, using crescent dough on something that's not a piece of stoneware, I can't guarantee how it's going to turn out because glass doesn't cook the same and neither does aluminum pans. So just FYI, if you have a stone, pull it out of the cabinet. I know you haven't used it in a while. Now is the time. So isn't that so pretty? We're not going to be in tune and on the air when this comes out of the oven, but you'll get to see it after. And you know what? I forgot that I was only doing an egg white. So the egg white is going to be such a pretty wash. And I'll take a picture so you can see afterwards. So the egg wash will give it a nice brown glow. Even if you're a terrible cook or baker, this will make you look like a rock star. Isn't that what we're all about? Making you look good, inspiring you. Because you know, everybody needs an Alice. First one, down. All right. Here we go with the second one. And I apologize that my phone keeps beeping. I ripped the thing off too much. There we go. Oops. I just ripped that dough in half. Let's see if I can piece that back together. Well, that doesn't normally happen on other programs, huh? There we go. So this one's pretty easy. This is going to be the taco ring. We're only going to do a half a ring so you can see, but all the crescents come in triangles, and that's where you would just take triangle after triangle and piece it together. That's the extra dough that I accidentally ripped off. So now we've got it layered. And I guess I should just go ahead and finish it. I'll just makeshift that one because that's what we do. This one's really easy. You have your scoop or a large spoon. You're just gonna fill this. And all you need to do is take the points. I can finish this later. Take the points and just tuck them under. And this is how easy it is to make the ring. And people go bananas when they hear that you're going to make the Pampered Chef ring. They usually love the taco ring, but this one is the chicken and broccoli ring. So I've saved the best for last. I'm going to set this aside and finish it. And I should also tell you one quick thing, and I'll let you get to see me for this one. When you're using crescent rolls, never, never, never put them in the freezer. I once showed up to do a party and the lady's like, oh yeah, I put those in the freezer. They don't recover. Do not put them in the freezer, and don't let them sit on the counter. So whenever you're getting ready to make your ring, wreath, or braid, you just grab that from the fridge, very last thing. So the last one we're gonna make is the actual kind of formation of a wreath. And I think that'll be really nice, and you will blow people away if you can make that one. So here we go. Let me grab this. Again, this can wanted to split like it did before, but we're not gonna let that happen. So here we go with the wreath. This one's a little more complicated. So that's why I saved the best for last. So we want to split the dough down the middle. And this is just to, I guess I didn't point out, this is the 2018 stone. It has a lip, it has handles. This, probably circa 1998, I would think, somewhere in there. So again, you have 2 cans of crescent rolls. And this is gonna kind of look similar to the ring to get started, but there's a trick. Dun, 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 dun. So pretend I went all the way around with my crescent rolls. Now for the wreath, I'm going to do the middle. Ah, Alice, you're getting tricky. Oops. Oh, crescent rolls, why do you fight with me today? So we'll just have an extra one over here, because imagine if it went all the way around. So now this is still my platform right here. And this is where I'm going to put my filling, but I'm going to bring the 2 up from either side, and that's what's going to make the wreath. And again, I can't overemphasize how wonderful this scoop is. It makes the perfect cookie size, and goes in the dishwasher and perfect for scooping for cupcakes as well. You know what, I'm gonna have to pull this one off for right now. So this is where I would take it and do a little crisscross action. And then I'm gonna do that again. Do you see how it just makes like a pretty little pattern? You can make it thinner if you want to. I think I see where I made the error. If I put this one right here, again, if this went all the way around, if I wasn't scrimping today, we're just gonna make this one here on the end. I'm sure Mr. Goodell will enjoy that one. These things they're not really rocket science, but they taste good. And like I said, when do you look like a rock star? When you use a little egg white. So I will bake all of these up. I'm sorry you all don't live next door and that you can't come and eat with us, but I know Dave and Emma will really enjoy that. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about, two things. One, if you are not hosting a gigantic Thanksgiving, even if you are and you're not the kind of person who's going to bring out the beautiful brown turkey in the middle of the table, then I would highly suggest cook your turkey on Wednesday when there's not all this pressure from your family to have it come out, because I have had a turkey that was not cooked and it goes back in the oven, it takes forever, it's just messy. So last year, for the first time, we cooked the turkeys on Wednesday. I then cut the arms and legs off and cut up a little bit of the breast, and I saved the juices. And Thanksgiving morning, I got up and put everything into a crock pot with a little bit of extra broth and water. It was the first time in my 20-something years of doing Thanksgiving that we actually had hot turkey, because often you don't serve the turkey hot because everything else is coming out of the oven. So that's my little tip. If it's just you and your family, cook it on Wednesday and have the most delicious, moist, hot turkey on Thursday. Your crock pot doesn't need to go higher than low or super low, whatever. You just want it nice and warmed, but you have to add some broth or something like that in there. The last thing I wanted to show you today was, let's say you're having a lot of company over and your kids are like mine and they'll just stab the butter and they don't care how it looks. I wanted to show you, if you have an Egg Slicer Plus, which most people do sitting in their drawer, oh, I went to that Pepper Chuck party in 1997 and I got myself an Egg Slicer Plus. I've told people this for years. You can pop the wire out, it doesn't hurt anything, and make your own butter pats and then plate them, and then everybody just takes a pat instead of digging through your butter. So I'm going to show you how that works. This will be our last trick before Thanksgiving. Here we go. So I know, hey, this is only so big, so I'm going to just cut it in half. And I'm even going to grab one of my very favorite little white plates that we used to sell, little appetizer plates, and I want to have the perfect little butter pats. I'm telling you, you already have one of these in your cabinet, in your drawer. Oh, there's a little broccoli hanging onto that one. So why not? And you know what you could do too, is you could even sprinkle it with some seasoning if you wanted to. But then people could just grab a butter pat off your table that day. Let's see. My hands got a little warm from working. But how pretty would that be? And you didn't spend any extra money. And you now have, oh gosh, I gotta finish it. I just can't live with it being not organized. Oh, that'd be so cute on Thanksgiving. And this would be the last thing that you would pull out of the refrigerator right before you sit down to eat, or that you would serve. Ta-da! So boy, I helped you be a rock star twice today. You got your butter pats and you got your egg white on your rings, wreaths, and braids. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving. And if we're not Facebook friends yet, we should be. And then you can see us all next week in New York. Maybe I'll do a little segment, not on Thanksgiving because that's Thursday, but leading up to it, about places we found to eat in New York. And you can look for Miss Emma doing her dance and cheer thing in the Macy's Day Parade. So thank you so much. And from my family to yours, may you have a blessed Thanksgiving and a great one. Thanks, guys.